human versus AI. Which one can do it better? Probably the AI. We're going to do a quick code review of just a simple app. We just did the app last stream. We did an app a couple hours ago, and we're going to review the code, and we're going to have the AI review the code. I'll review the code as the human, and we'll see who does better. Obviously, I have a hint. Here's a future prediction. The AI will do a really good job. But guess what? I mean, might as well jump in. All right, so we in the last stream we did a to-do app. We had the AIs. We compared Gemini versus Codex versus Claude Code. Which one did better? They all did a really great job. They all kind of create different apps. I liked Claude Code's approach better, so we're going to review Claude's code. It had the most robust code by far. They used the most structures. They used and it was the most human feeling. It was the easiest to use overall. So we'll review Claude Code's code, and then Claude will review its own code, and that's the idea. So it'll be human versus AI. The to-do app is what we did. So let's open it up here by to-do app. Here we go. Open it up, and it will be this one. Here's the code that it created. It's actually created pretty good code. And I was surprised because it created 2 classes. And you don't usually need to create classes in programming, especially when you're building apps. It's just something that you don't traditionally need to do. We're not giving the AI a chance. We haven't given the AI a chance yet. We need to give the AI a chance to review the code as well. So what we'll do here is we'll say this is the AI, right? So this is the AI. This will be Claude, Claude. All right, so this will be Claude. And then the human will go here. This will be the human. So this will be human, human, which is me. There we go. And then I will review this to-do app here. And then Claude. So let's do it. Claude dash. Let's see. What is it? Let's just open it up and we'll just start it up. Here we go. All right. So we're gonna have Claude read the file and then annotate the file with code comments. We're gonna see what it comes out with, and it's gonna have a separate. It'll be a separate file. So we'll say review the app to-do app.py. And write a second file to do app reviewed.py, and then save. So we'll do a save. We want to save human versus AI. Which one's going to come out on top? The AI is going to review this code in this app, and then I'm going to review the code, and the AI will save it as a second file. Annotate using code comments as the review. REVIEW. Perfect. So that's going to go off. We'll give it auto edit, and then we're going to hide it so I don't want to see what it's going to do. And then we'll go back to it later. It'll tell us when it's done. It'll be done before we are. So we're going to review the code. Let's walk through this code. It's actually a pretty straightforward code base. I see we've got our octothorpe bang here at the top, which points to Python, so you can directly execute the file. It's really nice to always do that. That gives you the ability to just do a ./ on the file. So this is actually nice. So we'll say good practice. Yep. Shebang. It's called a shebang line for executable scripts. Yep. I like that. Good practice. We've got JSON, OS, date, time, and then some typing, which is kind of interesting. I'm kind of curious. Oh, interesting. Okay. So typically you don't need to do this. There are literals in Python that work themselves out just fine, such as, right? So you can go like this as a literal. Check this out. You can just do this to be an array, right? Array literal. Just like that. But you could also do object literal. And so there's literal. There we go. So Ben, hey, how's it going? We are currently doing a code review and we're competing with the AI. Claude Code is reviewing the same file and we've submitted it to do work. Let's see. Is it working? Let's see here. Let's see where it's at. It's already done, of course. I don't want to see what it said yet. But what we're doing is I'm going to walk through it myself. Clearly AI has already won because it's finished, and I'm only on the second, like only on the top of the file yet. Let's see. So let's see here. Typically we don't need to use classes for building apps because it's so simple, right? I mean, there's no need for it. And then there's some niceness here, but the leveraging of the capability of the class that we're going to be using, the to-do app, and there's another class, the to-do app here, and a to-do itself, we don't need, it could, like, we're not going to be leveraging it. My guess is that we're going to see this class name used maybe a handful of times. Maybe. And I see it here. Like, I see it right here. And, you know, this could just be an object. There's no need. Obviously, they've represented it here as well. So we don't need that. But so there are some nice functions in here, but you don't need, this is a no op right here. This is not necessary. You don't need that in order to, granted, the encapsulation, it is nice. It is nice. And they're doing some list comprehension here, which is kind of neat. So let's see how we can do this. Typically, we don't need that. Same here with this class. Guess what? This class, I bet you, is going to appear maybe once. This code is this text here is going to be appearing maybe once. Let's find out. Are we right? Yep. See, it's only appearing once. Like, what's the point? There's no point. Literally, we could have just made a module. Only used once and could have been a module, right? Because it's not reused. And we won't be reusing it. So there's no real point to have this here. It's kind of unnecessary. So we could have just used a module and then encapsulated the code that way. A class is not necessary in this case. This is nice. Granted, I do like this. This is nice, though it could have just been a function. Outside of a class. Marcine. Oh no, Python. Yeah, Python. I like Python because it is, what do you call it? Easy to read. It's easy to read, right? There's very little symbols, and there's not a whole lot of things needed from a knowledge perspective, because right, the level of syntax is really low. There is, yeah, granted, you're probably saying this right now. You're like, Steven, Python has forced indentation. It's part of the syntax. Like, yes, I know it feels wrong. I want to have full control over the syntax. But guess what? You can in Python. You totally can. This is valid as well. You could do this, and that's totally fine if you want. So it's not like it's a very strict. And if there's a required, like, you can do one-liners as well. It's not it's not completely restrictive. So it's okay. It's actually completely okay. Let's see here. This class method, like, it's nice, and there's some list comp here from dict. Okay, let's read through this. It's going to return a to-do CLS class. Okay, so class method class ID task data. It's going to return. Okay, it's going to. Oh, interesting. That's kind of cool. Okay, it's not necessary. Are we going to be using it? We might. Okay, so in this case, what this is doing is kind of neat. It allows you to pass in a dictionary like this with the ID task completed and created at, and then create a new instance of the to-do class. Isn't that cool? I didn't even know you could do that. AI is teaching us some amazing things, isn't it? That's actually very satisfying. I didn't know you could do this. You can instantiate a class directly from by passing in data like this. That's pretty neat. That must be a new Python thing. I don't know if you could do that in Python 2, but you could probably do it in Python 3 because we're using Python 3 now. But still, like, it's not necessary because, look, there's all this code here, all this code here, and all you really need is this, just a dictionary, and then an array with dictionaries in it. That's it. And then you could have like maybe a validation class, right? Could have, right? We don't need, could just have, and there's not even a validation class in the first place. So if we don't have a validation class, so we don't really need this. Let's see here. Missing validation. Validation. So like there's things like ID, it's got to be a number, task should be a string of completed, should be a Boolean, and created at needs to be a date by a date time. So that would be in that case, for example, right? I like that idea. I think that makes a lot more sense. Load to-dos. So there's a lot of indentation here. Lots of indentation, which is something I don't like. I typically like to indent like 2 times at most. And then if you're indenting even further, then you need to roll back. Like maybe you're doing something that you shouldn't be doing. Like with the try except and the with, just a lot is going on here. I don't like it. But this is kind of a neat list comp all in one. So you can load the to-dos based on the array that you're opening from the JSON, which is kind of neat. But you know what? This is just a whole bunch of extra boilerplate that's not necessary. We could have just held the entire thing could have just been a JSON object. So this is not necessary. Not necessary. Could just be JSON in a file, right? And then we just load the JSON, and we don't need to do all this extra work. Same here. No need to keep a separate class structure just for JSON, especially since, are we doing anything special? There's nothing special going on here that's allowing us to do anything particular. There is some nice maybe placeholders where we could do some validation, but we could do that anyway. We could just write a function that does validation for the JSON to confirm that the data entry is correct, and then be cordial about it. You could say, hey, we noticed that there's some inconsistencies. You can fix them, and then it could auto-fix. Or you could be strict and say, the data type does not match. Please fix the data. So that's missing. This is kind of neat. I do like this, but this doesn't need to be a class. It just doesn't need to be a class. It could be something simpler, right? Could all be just methods or functions, because a method is a function inside of a class. So could just be functions. We don't need it. It's not necessary outside of a class yet. Same other functions here. It is nice that we have all these methods here. Looking good. I like how there's the separate things for each. It's just not necessary so much. I just don't think it's necessary. It is neat that there's a find to do, but it's by ID, and so this is like a waste of time, because you could do array filter on objects. So it could have just been an array of objects, and then you could have found the to-do item by the ID. So it's not necessary. It's definitely not necessary to do that. So we see a bunch of unused, unnecessary things here. Let's see. I want to see where the definition of this class is here. Oh, here it is. Okay. So see, it's inefficient. The to-do list is very large. Inefficient search, because it's doing a full search. Obviously when it runs into it, it'll return, and usually it'll find it within 50% of the time. It'll find it right at the beginning, but you know what? You will have to iterate an entire list in order to get to the ID at the end. So it's inefficient. You could just use something like an object of objects, for example, and you can index by ID. So could be object of objects indexed by ID, and then you never ever have to do a search like this. There's never any comparison, and so we've built it better already. We've built it better. So I think that makes a lot more sense from that perspective. Here's what I do like. I do think this is kind of cool. This is jumping into the main app. It's a while true, and it gives you a list of options. This is kind of neat. It's neat because it's a terminal-based application that allows the user to manage their list of to-dos, and they can easily choose each of these options, and it's a promptable. Like it becomes like a good user experience. So I like this good user experience. Good user experience. I think that's pretty sweet. And then you get your choice through the input, and input is just user text input, which is a system keyword in Python, which allows you to just say, hey, what data what sort of choice do you want to make? And you can choose like a number, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then the choice, so the problem is the user might type in add or list, or like they might type in the word. So this is a problem. There's multiple problems here. Could be a switch statement. That was brought up in the previous stream. It could be a switch statement. Also, what if the user types the words? This won't work, right? So we could have done something different. We could have done like keyword based matching, and then we wouldn't have to indent so much. There's just a lot of indentation here. This is fine. I'm totally fine with the requesting more user input. This is good. This is good. No big deal there. But the rest seems okay. I think the rest is okay. So now what we're going to do is we're going to compare side by side with what I came up with. It took me a long time. It took me quite a while. How long did it take me here? About 15 minutes. And it took the AI 1 minute. So the AI is already 15 times faster than I am in a code review. But it's the quality the same. You know what? I bet you it's going to come up with a whole bunch of different things. It's not... JB, have you used the click package? What's the click package? Wait. We need to know what this is. What's the click package? Click package Python. What is this? What's the click package? We're going to find out. JB has told us about the click package. What is this? Let's take a quick look here. All right. Welcome to Click documentation. Click is a Python package for creating beautiful command line interfaces. Ooh. That would have been good. Ask the AI to rewrite the code using Click. All right, let's do it. We're going to do it. We'll make it. We'll do it. Let's do it. Okay. I think that will be a lot of fun. Okay. Click Python package. Here we go. Let's do it. All right. So I'm going to save this as to do app human. To do app human. And then open that. Now I'm going to ask the AI rewrite using click app Python package. There you go. JB, this will be neat. I'm very curious to see what it comes out with. I think it's gonna be really neat. While it's doing that, we're gonna open up the review that Claude Code did. To do app reviewed. Now this is the AI review. And then this is, we'll go side by side. Let's do side by side. Number 5. This is the human view. All right. So on the left side of the screen, we have actually, you know what? I would like it better if I just opened it in the same here we go. Let's do Control V, vertical.
Claude is awaiting user input.
There we go. And then we'll open up our human version. So that way it's easier to move around because it's all in the same, it's in Vibe directly. Okay. To do app reviewed human. Here we go. All right. So right side is human. Left side is AI. All right. Review. Good use of shebang. We both said the same thing. Clean imports. I thought I said the same. I didn't type it down, but I said the same. I also said, you know what? We don't necessarily need these things. We could just use literals. I like literals better in this case because we're not leveraging so much the need of the list and dict and optional. Easy edits X2. First, keep going. Thank you. I appreciate it. That's awesome. We'll keep going. We're gonna keep going. All right, we're doing code review. Artificial intelligence on the left, human on the right. All right, well-structured data class. Yep. Let's do set wrap so we can read everything on one line. Following in the business sense is debt. Code is debt, and from a business perspective, you lease your debt to your customers. And so you want to minimize your debt as much as possible. So clean code is good. Not Owen, hey, welcome back. Claude reviewing itself. Yes, excellent, genius work. Yeah, we're doing that. You're totally right, not Owen. That's exactly what we're doing here. We are having the AI Claude review its own code, and we had it post its comments alongside. And being a human, I'm going to do the human part of it, comparing myself to the AI to see where it's different. We agreed about multiple things. It's like we both agreed on JB data classes are kind of something that can be generated by templating engines. Yeah. You don't need, for the most part, you don't really need to use object-oriented programming anymore. For most cases, you don't. It's just something that's just not necessary, because the coding language itself has enough built in for its modules or literals, which are just these things, right? And they are so much easier to read because you need to use them anyway. Clearly, right? The AI did it. The AI did it itself, right? So it's using literals directly here when it wrote the code, but it's using a class and literals at the same time. So I think it's weird. What we're doing right now is we're comparing the artificial intelligence reviewing of code to a human's review, which I just finished. I did a review, and now we're comparing the two. So let's see. I just said that there's no need to use object-oriented programming because we're already using literals here in this case, and there's no need. Caesar at airport saw this while scrolling. Glad I did. Subscribed. Cool. Thank you. Caesar Estrada. Excellent. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. We're doing a code review. We're reviewing the AI's code and I'm reviewing the AI's code. The AI is reviewing itself. JB, sometimes object-oriented programming is needed to make multiple versions of the same class in different contexts. Yes, this is exactly the point. You're totally right. This is a really good use of AI, of object-oriented programming. You're totally right, JB. But guess what? We're not, that's exactly the point here. I said how many instances are, for example, let's look at this class right here. Class to-do app, if you can see it on your screen. Class to-do app. How many instances do you think there are of this? Guess what? There's just one right there. It's just one. Completely unnecessary. Is a complete waste of object-oriented programming here. Not necessary. So this class, I think, is just overkill. And it forces indentation. And that means that going forward, there's always at least, for every function in code, you need at least 2 indentations just for that. And I don't like it. It's not my style. AI can't do that without confusion. Yeah, that's a good point. So AI kind of sometimes needs structure, and it's sort of leveraging itself on top of that structure to be able to write the application successfully. So JB, you brought up a really good point. It probably used a class-like structure in this case in order to help itself succeed better, which is understandable. It totally makes sense. But the cool part is, code in these days and age, when it's 2025 and the AI takes care of itself, code is disposable in a way. At this point, we can count code as disposable, which means that the debt of the code is far less. But you still need to manage it in a certain way in order to make that possible. So that's just the case. But yeah, it's overkill. It just doesn't make any sense. It looks a lot like Java, to be honest. This is a common Java pattern. You'll have a Java app, which is the main app, and then that is what's executed when you run the program. So it's not really Pythonic in this way, or in many other cases, any kind of other language. It's sort of design patterns that are leaking in from other languages, and I don't like it. So I said I don't like it. The AI was fine with it. It said it was totally fine. Good use of class, deserialization, a clean factory pattern. I do like this. I thought this was neat, this from dictionary pattern, which allows you to instantiate an instance of a to-do list item, which is pretty cool. And it's still not necessary though, because you could just have an array or an object of objects to deal with this. So I thought it was unnecessary. All right, review configuration data file is good for testing and flexibility. Kinda. Like, I don't think it's necessary. Like this, it's not really doing a whole lot here for us. It's just not. The application could have just been written in the main function or in the global scope in this case. We could just imported code, boom, there's no need, and just defined a few functions to help validate and verify. I just don't think this is necessary. It's a little overkill. All right, what else did the AI say? Simple but effective ID generation strategy. Next ID is 1. Well, it's always going to be 1 in this case, right? Is it ever? Oh, wait, hold on. Does it increment? Safely retrieving next ID with fallback. It gets the next ID from self. This is not necessary. You don't need it like this. And you don't need to have a linear identifier in this case. Sortable could be fine if necessary, but IDs don't need to be like this. This is not necessary. I just don't think it was needed. Let's see. Review graceful fallback to empty state or on corruption, potential improvements. Oh, okay, yeah. But this is also not necessary because you can just look for the file, see if it's there, open the file, JSON parse, and if it fails here, then you know that there's some corruption, and you know to provide that information to the user. And in this case, it silently fails. So I would say that's bad. Silent failure here, it just starts over. So if I corrupted the JSON file, it never would have let me know that it had done so. So I don't think that's actually good. I think that's another problem. All right, let's see here. Save to-dos. This is a good function. It does not need to be in a class, this function here. And as you can see, it's deserializing itself from a class object into JSON. And it's just not necessary. We could have just held the data in the JSON, the object notation using Python literals. There's just no need. Do you need to save it anywhere at all? Yeah, so good question. In this case, it saves it as a JSON file because if you're saving your to-dos as a to-do list, you probably won't always have your application running. But you're completely right, JB. There is no need to actually save it. You can have a to-do list app and have it without saving on the disk. There's no need for it. And so you can keep the data in the literals, in the object literals, and structure it in a way where it works as long as the application's running. And so there's no need to actually save it. But you can, and I actually thought it was neat. And in this case, we didn't ask for it, but it came along. We're doing some code review of some AI code that printed out, and we're seeing that it's doing a little bit. JB, I would like to write my to-dos using Google Sheets. Not Owen, Gemini underdog gold medal for simplicity. Yeah. So, not Owen, when we built this, I think I like Gemini's simplicity when we wrote these apps in the last stream. I thought it was really cool. Silo, it's great to see. Hi, how's it going? So I thought Gemini did an okay job. I just write to-dos in comments. Yeah. Yep. That's the way when you're doing it in comments like that absolutely. So you do like this, you do to do, and then it highlights. And then I like to say a whole bunch of to-dos if it's really important to do. I like to do it like that. So that way you can't miss it if you're scrolling. Your thoughts about Lovable is as a tool. Lovable is great. It's great for code generation. It provides an easier onboarding experience for those who are not terminal bound or who like terminal emulators like this. I've got Vim running here in a terminal emulation layer. I like that better. I'm familiar with it. I'm comfortable with it. And I feel like I can achieve a lot because then I can use Z shell or bash or other kinds of commands. It's not your real name though. It's not Anime X Zone. Your thoughts. Yeah. So I hope that answered your questions about Lovable in Anime. That is, me personally, I'm comfortable in the terminal. I like it better. We're just walking through here. Pretty print JSON. Yes. Okay. So I like how potential issue, no error handling for write operations. So if that's the one issue that it said that there's going to be, I think that's weird because usually you don't have any problem writing. There's very rare conditions where you're going to have when the disk is full, right? Or if you don't have permissions to write there. In both cases, they're rare. But though it is an error case. So for sure, I did it wrong. Let's see here. Let's see. 1 second. 1 second. Well, wait. Ask the AI to make the code send in Jinja template as an email. Lulu, hun just got here. Said hi. Hey, how's it going, Lulu? Good to see you. All right. So let's take a break from the code review and let's jump over. Someone earlier asked to have the AI write the code using a framework, using Click. So I want to see what it looks like now with Click. Here we go. Python to do app.py. To do app. Here we go. Py. All right, now it's a brand. Wait, that's not in click. Did it work? Hold on. Oh, it goes off. It goes while it's working. We will go back to the code review because we'll have to wait for it to finish. The AI said it was done. So now, actually, let's try it out. Let's try it. Let's see. Let's use the click app version. Let's go over to the click app version. So let's do Python, and we'll do to do underscore app dot py. And we do have to get going here pretty soon at some point, but we do. Oops. You know, it looks the same, doesn't it? It didn't do anything. Hold on. Timeout. The click version of the address is the original code. Oh. Oh, you know what it did? You know what it did, you guys? It read my code comments of all the things that I said were wrong with it. It read all my code comments. Oh, wait. Okay, here we go. Okay. All right. So Python to do app, click. Here we go. Let's take a peek. It should be beautiful. Add. Okay. Add. Let's see if it goes. Missing task. Task. There we go. Added a task. Task added. Let's see what the JSON file looks like. We got about 10 minutes left here. So let's go. I like the click version. I thought it was really cool of the app. Oh, here it comes. Yes, absolutely. Oh, you got it. Yeah, absolutely. You know what? I didn't paste it into the question. We did a code review of an AI output, and then we had the AI review itself. So we did a lot of cool things. We reviewed the AI's code. We had the AI rewrite the app with the click framework module in Python, which kind of gives you pretty neat outputs, right? So you can easily do this. JB, how many needless API and services can you have the AI added to the code? As many as you want. How many needless API and services can you have the AI add into the code? You can go nuts. As many as you want. Most no codes have Stripe integration. Oh, they do already. They already have Stripe integration. Okay, I didn't know that. If you're using Lovable, you can ask it to implement. It might not be great, but you can get started. Yeah, that makes sense. I think, so after 4 or 5 years, programmers should be named as debuggers as the AI is proceeding in dev community. Yeah, that's actually a good point now. So humans can be now debuggers instead of programmers, and the AI is going to be the coder itself. It's going to be its programmer. But it still needs architecture and more other depth things. Yes, you're right. Yeah, so you still need a lot of thinking about what the future is from a human perspective, but you still can provide that to the AI, and it can give you a pretty good run. It can do a pretty good job if you give it all of your ambitions up front. If AI is so good, why not have AI do your stream for you? I actually do. You didn't even know. Well, see, here's the part. I like doing this. This is a lot of fun for me. And if the AI would be generating the video and doing the voice, then I'm just sitting there. I'm not doing anything. Like there's no fun there. And one of the problems is over the years, you collect all of these skills and you want them to go to waste. You want to keep using them. And so I want to use the skills, and I feel like talking about them is at least one way to use them. Let's see. Tinker GUI or GTK. I don't know. I don't actually know. I don't know I've heard of those before, JB. I'm actually not familiar with those. Cloudflare is awesome. Cloudflare is amazing. It's really great. Really great technology. I love Cloudflare. They're good friends. Using Firebase for hosting JS, you could, though I think it makes more sense to go direct to a CDN. Go direct to a CDN, like a Cloudflare or GitHub. But you could use the Google version, right? So Firebase is the Google version, and they also have a loss leader. Maybe it might cost money. I don't know. I've actually not used it but it could. It might be free. They also might have a loss leader there as well. You never know. You use LangChain along with Future, along with something else. What can AI help with streaming? Oh, Anthony, so I have the AI right now. As you can see here on the screen, it's doing the subtitles. So we've got live subtitles with the AI. And then I also record the video locally, and then I have the AI go forward and edit the videos, and then I post the videos later after the stream is over. So the AI is doing things there. Playing, see what, search Glade GTK Python. All right, let's do that really quick. Here we go. Glade GTK Python. All right, we did it. We searched for it. Let's see, what does it say here? All right. Glade is rapid application development tool used to design graphical user interfaces. Ooh. Oh. Yeah. Okay, so Python doesn't have any native UI built into it. So in order for you to build a UI, you have to either do something like Electron or Taro. There's a Tauri. You can use Tauri. There's a lot of options there. But yeah, Glade is a replica development for use for design for GUIs using GTK Coolkit. That's actually cool. I like this. I would love to give it a try. I think this is really neat. Use Glade for Glade's visual design. Oh, sweet. They've even got a designer. So you can build your own GUI using the designer. That's pretty satisfying. I didn't know you could do that. That's really cool. Please share how that's done.